Here's a woodworking pro tip for you guys. If you're going to work on a big project in your basement, measure the width of the door before you get started. Fortunately, I got a few inches to spare. So if you're new here, let me introduce myself. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. No, this has nothing to do with robotics or tabletop gaming, but this is the big version of the little seed starting planter thing that I built a few weeks ago. And just like that one, this one is roughly based on a design that April Wilkerson did on her YouTube channel. So you can find a link for that video in the show notes. If you're looking for a good step-by-step tutorial by someone who knows what they're doing, check out that video. If you like self-deprecating humor, you're probably in the right spot. Though to be honest with you, this build actually went pretty well and not a whole lot of stuff went wrong. So, you know, either way, let's get started and have some fun in the process. For the sides of the planter, I've got a nice little 1x4 cedar run along the bottom that looks actually pretty darn good. It's a nice little decorative piece. It's also part of the actual size and volume of the entire planter. Now, that piece is somewhat held on with some pocket hole screws. Now, I think my rationale for selecting that, though, was probably to justify the purchase of this thing. So, hey, let's use it. So one change I made with the design with this full-size planter versus the seed starting one is the sides of the walls are not made with, I guess, standard 1x4 lumber. I chose to use wall panels. They're actually a lot cheaper than the 1x6s that were the same basic size. Also, they had the little kind of cleaned up edges built into them, so not taking the router and saving time there. You get the nice little kind of slanted edges to the joints. I may end up regretting this decision later on, but they seem to work pretty well. I don't know. The pocket hole screws don't come in the exact correct sizes for this thickness of material. You've got ones for 1/2 inch thick and ones for 3/4 of an inch thick. So you get this from time to time. Plus, because of the fact that they're different thicknesses, if these boards are not perfectly aligned, which is kind of difficult to do, you get them popping out as well. So just go back in, loosen up the pocket screws a little bit, and go from there. Now, just in case you're curious, there's going to be some more reinforcement later on. I'm not relying solely on these pocket hole screws to hold this whole thing together. Now at this point, you're probably thinking, if you watched the last video where I built a little seedling starter kit, you're like, huh, I thought ripping the boards was a bad idea. It was. This time around though, with these pieces, I've got actually a nice flat edge for two sides, so that works fine. Plus, what's left in the middle here will make a nice stake for my tomato plants. Let's get back to cutting. Guess I need to make sure the thing's plugged in, right? Let's talk a little bit about why I wasn't caring in this case about ripping these 1x4s into these floor supports. Obviously, there's something similar with the seedling starter kit, and it was kind of a disaster. And for the floor supports, I'm only using the sides. I already have one nice flat machine side from the factory. So therefore, I don't really care if this side's raggedy, it's the flat side that matters. So I'm not entirely convinced about the strength of the pocket hole screws in this particular application. I've been having all sorts of fun trouble with them. So what I've got here, these are the two sides of the planter that I've already built. I do some things ahead of time, so I do solve some problems ahead of time video filming. And what I ended up doing is I've got some 1x2s of cedars, 2 here and then 3 along here. I'm going to be using that material later on for some decorative pieces, but I had some extra of it left over. So what I did is I made a few of them cut down to 3-inch lengths, and I just kind of screwed them in so they're also holding in the bottom panel along with the pocket hole screws to the top wood wall panel thing. So to give it some more strength to hold this whole thing together. So let's cut some of those for the remaining halves right now. Now it's time to work on the boards that'll make up the floor of the planter box, and for that, more wall panels. It doesn't seem loud for a reason. In my head, it's like, wow, these tools are so much louder. You don't get your headphones on or these ear protection on. Holy crap, this stuff is loud. Let's try it the right way with ear protection. So I'd say this is looking pretty good right here. Let's build some legs. There's $56 worth of wood cut down. Let's make some short, stubby legs because $56 is enough. I didn't feel like paying $112 to get nice, full-size legs for this planter. I think things turned out pretty darn good. We're not done just quite yet though. Oh. I got some sort of self-watering system to put into it. It's supposed to work. Okay, got a little bit of headroom. That's just good, just checking there. I know I make fun of that all the time, but a little bit of classically trained video professional side of me, that just drives me nutty on YouTube. How many people just don't care about that? But anyway, I think this project is just about done, and it turned out halfway decent. We'll find out if anything grows in it. Now, it's about time to lug this thing upstairs. There is one more piece I'm going to put on it, but I'm not going to worry about that until after I've got all the soil and everything in it. The next neighbors have what's called a land monster, probably more commonly known as a groundhog. It turns out those things can climb. So I'm going to put a kind of chicken wire-ish fence around the inside here, maybe about a foot tall, because supposedly those little critters don't like climbing up that type of unstable things, so you don't have to have a whole lot of that, but just enough to keep it out of the planter box here and getting to my vegetables. So I want to say thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. Even though this really has nothing to do with miniature wargaming or robotics or anything, it's been a heck of a lot of fun. But, you know, I am still trying to build towards that tabletop gaming table, and that's kind of like, this is one step along that process. So hit subscribe if you want to see more projects like this, and hit that the like button, thumbs up button, whatever that stupid thing is on YouTube, because, you know, it helps a lot with some of these woodworking videos. So with that out of the way, I think we're all set. So have a great week.